On the 29th of November last year, in this aged care facility in Mirrabooka, a suburb of Perth in Western Australia, Kathy, as she was affectionately known, breathed her last. With Ramdas Sankaran, MSC CEO, and her daughter, Jane Ramsey, at her side, her amazing last words as she waved her arm in the air were, "I'm flying, off I go." The candle may go out, but the memory of its light remains. The inevitable has sadly taken her from us, but jubilantly back into the arms of her beloved Larry.
Kathy, the matriarch of the MSC family, was truly a social justice warrior in every sense of the word. Gutsy, strategic, resilient, and most importantly, brimming with unconditional agape, which she showered upon her late husband Larry, her children, especially Jane, her extended family, and members of the MSC family until the very end. Kathy was very fond of her biological son Glenn, and I often wondered why that didn't stop her from privately and publicly referring to me as her favorite son. I jokingly mentioned, perhaps it's my tan, but maybe it was my vintage, given my 70 plus years on planet Earth. Regardless, in Kathy, I was blessed to have one more mom equally fabulous as my biological mom.
Kathy's story began on St. Patrick's Day 1931, earning her the name Catherine Patricia. She was the first child of Yugoslav immigrants and was born in Leonora Hospital in Western Australia. Her first home was a Hessian tent on the wood line in Leonora, where her father worked tirelessly as a timber cutter, fencer, well sinker, and eventually a miner, while her mother cooked for single men, saving for their wedding before becoming a homemaker. Kathy's daughter recalls in her eulogy,
Mum began school in Agnew, not knowing a word of English. Later, education continued at the Dominican convent school in Leonora, where she boarded when her mum was sick. She later attended Eastern Goldfields Tech, where she studied English, maths, bookkeeping, and dressmaking.
Kathy's formative years instilled in her a deep appreciation for education, discipline, and community, as well as remarkable resilience.
Mum met Dad at a dance in Perth. She later confided to a friend that she'd met a nice bloke with a good conversation, whose shoes matched his suit, but that he was going bald. They married him in 1955 and began their life together. They lived in a share house, with Mum on a steep learning curve, as she had never cooked and she couldn't even boil water. Mum had zero tolerance for dishonesty. I'll never forget being sent 10 kilometres back to a shop nearly 40 years ago to repay $2 I'd been undercharged. While she couldn't abide cheating or dishonesty, she was ever forgiving. Her love and loyalty to her family meant she forgave us anything. Her resilience and strength were extraordinary, reflecting Bob Marley's words, "You never know how strong you are until being strong is your only choice."
Kathy and Larry worked tirelessly to give their children the best opportunities, including private schooling and extracurricular activities. Both were generous contributors to community causes, giving their time and donations. Minister Bhutti's message, read by Saeed Padshaw, his senior policy advisor for citizenship and multicultural interests, at Kathy's funeral, eulogizes Kathy's tremendous contribution to the WA community.
Minister Bhutti writes, "It is with great sadness that I received the news of passing of Ms. Katherine Ursich OAM, a champion of multiculturalism and a strong advocate for the culturally and linguistically diverse communities of Western Australia. As the Minister for Citizenship and Multicultural Interests, it is an honor to acknowledge the substantial contributions that Kathy has made in both respects. If there is any such thing as a model citizen, we need to look no further than how Kathy lived her life and how she supported many causes, organizations, individuals, and not just in the multicultural sector.
When Mum's nephew was diagnosed with schizophrenia, she and Dad didn't hesitate to help. They worked tirelessly to understand the illness and support his family through the challenges. She was a founding member of the Schizophrenia Fellowship of WA,
now known as MIFWA.
Kathy's passion and contribution in mental health might not be as well known as her accomplishments in the multicultural sector. Starting out in 1980, by setting up a pioneer grassroots support group for families, the Fellowship, Kathy sought to improve the lives of families' children diagnosed with schizophrenia by developing better support services and promoting more understanding about mental health challenges in the community. Besides being a founding member of the Fellowship, Kathy served as its treasurer in the early 90s and was its representative at the national level. By 1994, the Fellowship's first service, the Lorikeet Clubhouse, was developed in Shenton Park.
Kathy dedicated herself to numerous organizations and initiatives, always driven by a commitment to helping others. She was deeply involved with the Muscular Dystrophy Association in Kalamanda and was a proud member of Inner Wheel.
Her efforts extended to organisations like the Stirling Adriatic Club, where she worked passionately to support the WA Slav community. She also served on the board of Stirling Ethnic Aged Care Homes during its establishment and helped develop the HAC program for the ethnic aged population in North Perth.
As a foundation member of the City of Stirling Multicultural Advisory Committee, Kathy championed diversity, inclusion, and empowerment of immigrant communities. She was a founder of the North Perth Migrant Resource Centre, now the Multicultural Services Centre, Western Australia, and a key figure in the Ethnic Communities Council of Western Australia. Her dedication and leadership had lasting impact on countless lives, and her contributions were rightfully recognized. She was awarded the prestigious Order of Australia Medal in the General Division in 1993 for her service to the community.
Many individuals over decades have contributed to making MSC what it is today. Two stand out in terms of duration of board membership: the late Russell Raymond and Kathy, who served a total of 40 plus years, a few longer than him. Whilst that's a notable achievement, she will be remembered for much, much more. Kathy had something in common with George Bernard Shaw, who said, and I quote, "You see things and you say, why? But I dream of things that never were and say, why not?" Kathy was a dreamer and dreamt big for MSC, but unlike many a dreamer, her doggedness and determination turned her dreams into realities.
Kathy has literally been the lifeblood of MSC for more than 40 years and was one of the original board members of the North Perth Migrant Resource Centre, the precursor to MSC. She was a board member, a stalwart MSC member, font of all our history, and almost our founding member. The fact that we named one of our largest and most expensive properties after her says much about the esteem in which we all held her. Kathy was born in Leonora and had tales to tell of growing up in what she said was that hellish racist town before she escaped to Perth. She made a life with her late husband Larry and turned her hand to anything and everything in a hard life. She never lost her cheerful spirit and her ebullient outlook on life.
When a federal minister for immigration made the very unwise decision to deprive NPMRC, as MSc was then called, its annual co-funding of $250,000. Thanks to Kathy and those who she motivated and supported, she denied the minister the satisfaction of the centre ceasing its operations. Kathy's tenacity and foresight didn't end there, for she was determined that MSc should never be left to the mercy of the ministers or senior bureaucrats. Thanks to her business acumen and eye for a bargain, she, more than anyone else in MSc's history, saw the value of building MSc's assets. It was she who'd identified and proposed the purchase of MSc properties in Mirrabooka, Cannington and Morley, including the largest one at Bookham Street. Our board aptly named it the Katherine Ursich OAM Wellness Centre in her honour.
Kathy was indeed a great lady, storyteller and organiser. She and Russell Raymond, along with Nick and many others, can resume their banter in heaven. She'll have those boys up there whipped into shape in no time. She was a wonderful mentor and she will be missed. I remember part of my last conversation with her was regarding the naming of a building after her. She told me, "They only do that when you're dead, and I'm not dead yet." Kathy will be smiling down from up there, seeing the plans for the new Katherine Ursich Wellness Centre.
There was much travelled road between Mundaring and North Perth. Mum dedicated half her life to multicultural services in North Perth, serving on the board for 40 years, including as its deputy chair and treasurer, all in voluntary roles. Ramdas, the CEO, frequently praises Mum, but she also has credited MSC's success to his leadership. She held him in the highest esteem, also considered him to be a son, and she had great respect for the entire team. Thanks to their efforts, MSC has grown into the largest multicultural service provider in WA. Ramdas shared that Mum was instrumental in growing the MSC from 27 staff and 700,000 turnover in 2002 to over 300 plus staff and 17 million in turnover last year, with expectations to reach 20 million this year. MSC is now a diverse range of services and a debt-free property portfolio worth several million. This is a serious organisation.
The news of her passing triggered emotional responses from MSC staff who knew her and some who didn't.
All of us regarded Kathy highly in so many different ways. I remember her from my day one at North Perth Migrant Centre in 1997. She always reminded me so much of my mum. We are from the same background. Kathy was full of energy and zest for life, so tough and so soft at the same time, always sharing and supporting others, but not tolerating laziness. The best way we can honor Kathy and ensure that she lives on is by practicing that as much as we can.
I was deeply sorry to hear about Kathy's passing. From the beautiful memories that were shared, it's clear how much she meant to us and the incredible impact she had on those around her. Although I only met her a few times, I still remember how warm and comfortable she made me feel. She truly was an incredible person.
Those who had the privilege of working with such an amazing person were truly fortunate. Walking into the MSc office will always remind us of the dynamic yet humble person she was.
Unfortunately, I never met her in person. A bit of a copy of my late mother, if I'm allowed to express myself. Yes, only a real woman and mother can leave such an indelible mark in the heart of those privileged to have known her. A person with a capacity to forgive unconditionally is a rare soul who discovered the essential of life, and is a person that also has the capacity to love unconditionally. It's the highest type of love. It's called agape.
Thank you for sharing the long journey you all have together. I really appreciate all the hard work, and I'm very thankful for those who came before to build such an amazing organization, a home for us all. Thanks to those who sacrificed their time, their energy to build such an amazing company. I will keep Katherine in my prayer.
I have known Kathy for 9 years. Kathy was a wonderful, cheerful lady who always lived her life with gratitude and integrity. There is no doubt that Kathy was a special gift to her family, friends, MSCWA and the community at large. Every day she made the world a better place by taking the opportunity to uplift the life of others. Kathy definitely left a positive imprint in this world. Kathy was and will be missed. I have happy memories of her.